Hello, I'm Edgar Miranda. Of all the threats facing the DC universe, not many are as menacing as Darkseid. Tyrant of a hellish world, leader of a dreadful crew, and bringer of terrible news.
And all of existence shall be mine.
But before the great darkness, there was simply a man named Uxas. Good people of YouTube, welcome. If this is your first time here, please know I've been expecting you. Click subscribe, hit the bell, and take a seat. Let me entertain you. In 1970, the king of comics, Jack Kirby, left Marvel and went back to DC Comics, where he immediately started planting the seeds for what would be known as the Fourth World. At the beginning, there was the Source, and from it formed a planet known as Godworld, Urgrund, or Asgard, inhabited by magnificent beings. That is, until Ragnarok, where gods killed gods and the destruction that followed was so massive that the planet was split in half. And after an era, the molten remnants of that old world became the lush and peaceful New Genesis, and the cruel and war-hungry Apokolips. New planets where all gods gave way to new ones. After his father Yuga-Khan, patriarch of the royal family, was lost to his ambitions, Uxas of Apokolips still had his mother Hegra and his brother Drax in the way to his throne. Perpetually in his brother's shadow, second in his mother's eyes, forced into a marriage arrangement, and without friends or companions, Uxas, always the observer, planned, plotted, and schemed for power he believed his from birth. And finally, the wheels started turning. Drax, despite growing in the vicious culture of Apokolips, found common ground with Isaiah of New Genesis, which foretold a bright future of peace between their worlds once Drax ascended the throne, except that Uxas had different plans. Being so close to the source, the denizens of the sister worlds could attain godhood through a rite of passage that allowed them to claim god powers and their true name, but for heirs of the royal family of Apokolips, that birthright could only be taken by someone with the fortitude to contain it. Originally mastered by Yuga-Khan, it had destroyed many usurpers who had tried to possess it. That, along with the severity of the process, made Drax wary of claiming it. But pressured by his mother, his uncle Steppenwolf, and his friend the Sad, Drax decided to embrace his destiny, at last. That same night, Uxas accompanied his brother and the Sad to the Infinity Pit, where the Omega Force resided, and they were informed by the ones in charge of the Acts of Acquisition that the fury of the Force had never been greater than it was that night. So dressed in garbs given to him by the Sad, his only friend, made to help him channel and control the Force, Drax entered the final chamber. But then, something went terribly wrong, and also exactly according to plan. The Sad attacked, and then Uxas jumped into the Infinity Pit, where his brother finally saw what he always knew his brother to be: a monster. And with that act, the universe would never be the same, because where there was once a dream of peace and a man named Uxas, now there was only Darkseid. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, maybe check another one.
I shouldn't.
Come on.
Do it.
See you next time.
I have turned 100,000 worlds to dust.